nice. Good food and drink. Lots of guests. Not enough pretty girls for my liking, though. It's a lot better here in Trusky.
Let's hope the bride
Why
doesn't
wouldn't
leave
they
you.
when it's true? It'll be bad, I tell you.
No, seems to me it's always the same. Bad.
Well, it'll be even worse. Look, there's a rabble running rampant over the country. Well, I ain't so sure about that when I hear what you're saying.
Leave it alone.
What's wedding like?
It was nice. Oi, can't you...
I ain't seen you here. Are you new and all? Well, I'm Magda.
I'm Henry.
It's great to have some new lads here.
Oh, aye. Henry, how about you bugger off? I wouldn't want a repeat of our last disagreement.
Are you also helping Wojtek's uncle?
Sure. Me and Wojtek are helping his uncle. And I'm sure Wojtek's uncle would rather he stopped gabbing and gave me a hand.
I wouldn't want to keep you lads from your work. Take care then.
Thanks a lot. Are you on some kind of mission to ruin my fucking life?
You should thank me for not saying what you're really doing here. And now come and give me a hand.
That's just great.
That's that.
And he didn't notice you standing there.
I finished hauling the sacks. What now?
How should I know? They told me to think up some job for you, so you wouldn't be idle. So if you want to pass the time, go ahead, but do it sensibly.
Well, I'd say there's plenty of work to do around here. I'll gladly help you with something.
Aye, but I've only got work in the forge, and that ain't for everyone. I'm a respected tradesman here, understand?
I'm a blacksmith too, even if I don't look the part right now.
Oh, really?
Aye. My pa was a blacksmith, a respected one.
Then you might actually be some use to me. At least I wouldn't have to work my fingers to the bone all the time. I'll tell you what, go to the forge. The fire's gone cold. I haven't had much time for, well, the trade. So fire it up and make some horseshoes for Kabat. He's our groom, always bothering me that he don't have shoes for the horses. And there's only one nag stabled here now that his lordship's away with his men.
All right. How many should I make?
How many legs does a horse have?
4.
Smart lad. We've got one horse. That's 4 times 1. But Kabat's already got 3. So that's 4 minus 3, which is...
1. All right.
You'll find everything you need in the trunk in the forge. It's there, past the gate.
All right. But I was told not to go there.
And now I'm telling you to go. And when it's done, bring it to me to check so you don't make me look bad. Off you go. Lads!
All other soldiers of Christ.
Finally. About that horseshoe.
Well, did you get it done?
Yeah. Here.
Well, what are you standing around here for? I told you to take it to Kabat.
No. You told me to bring it and show it to you.
You're a smart one, eh? Well, now I'm telling you to go to Kabat with it. He's our groom. Most likely he'll be idling by the upper stables, the grouch. Just between the two of us, he's a very unpleasant fella. Unlike me.
I can't wait. I brought you those horseshoes. I mean, horseshoe.
That took long enough. I've only got one horse here and I've got nothing to shoe him with. And you know who gets in the shit over it?
You?
Exactly. Mistakes are punished here. So either I'd end up reduced to beggary, or I'd have to go back to what I was doing before. And I wouldn't like that.
What did you do before?
You're a bit inquisitive, ain't you?
Well, I get the feeling you're actually proud of it.
Let's just say I haven't always made an honest living. Is that enough for you?
Sure. I wouldn't want to be rude.
Very wise.
What did you do before?
You're a bit inquisitive, ain't you?
Well, I get the feeling you're actually proud of it.
Let's just say I haven't always made an honest living. Is that enough for you?
Not quite. I'd also like to know if you still got any tools.
I might be able to find something, but I'll tell you, it won't come cheap.
Isn't there maybe something I could do for you in exchange?
Well, since you're offering, I lost something playing dice and I'd like to have it back. A very nice turquoise rosary.
Who did you lose it to?
Father Nicodemus. That priest rolls dice like the devil himself was guiding his hand.
Don't worry. I'll get it for you.
But with no trouble, all right?
Naturally. Do you know where Captain Thomas is? I heard he was in a bad way.
It's true, son. It doesn't look good for him. Why do you ask?
I'd like to pray with him.
A kind thought, but you can't get to Thomas. I had him moved during the night up to the chapel in the Maiden.
Why can't I get there?
You know, the castle chapel is an important place. Only Lord von Berghoff, his kin, and a few others are allowed there.
Like you, for instance.
Naturally. It's certainly good of you to want to pray for Thomas, but you can do that anywhere without having to disturb him.
Why did you take him to the chapel?
The surgeon is away with Lord von Berghoff, and Thomas has got considerably worse. I don't like to say it, but there's nothing left but to pray for a miracle.
I'll be going then.
Go, and don't forget about that prayer.
What if my soul is burdened with sin? Is there a way to cleanse it?
Of course, son. You can redeem yourself with an indulgence, or take the path of repentance and atone for your sins with a pilgrimage. It will improve your reputation with people, but beware. Making a pilgrimage does not erase your crimes in the eyes of the law, nor does it release you from paying a fine. And you, if I'm not mistaken, have a few, similar concerns. Come find me when you have atoned for your worldly sins.
It seems like you'd be glad to have someone to play with.
Alea jactan honest, my friend. The die has not been cast, and that grieves me. No one wants to play with me, so I'll be quite glad if you join me. And for what shall we play? You don't look too well off.
What did you do that no one wants to play with you? I hope you don't cheat.
Certainly not. Although it may look that way at times, since fortune is exceptionally good to me. Do not expect any tricks from me. It would be a sin.
And isn't playing dice a sin, too?
It's not as if we were Roman soldiers playing dice for Christ's cloak, is it?
Yeah, I never understood what they wanted that robe for. I doubt Jesus had any finery.
They sat on the robe, so they wouldn't feel the cold. You see, at that time of year, it was pretty cold in Golgotha.
Cold? Wasn't Christ crucified at Easter?
Yes, but it's more complicated. The lunar calendar, leap years, and whatnot.
Uh-huh. I heard you have a certain turquoise rosary.
Aye, it belonged to Kabat, although belonged is a strong word.
How do you mean?
Kabat is known for having some peculiar things in his property, if you grasp my meaning.
Hang on. You're saying you don't mind holding on to a stolen item?
And who should I give it back to? I doubt Kabat will tell me who he took it from. Besides, you've got to admit a rosary belongs in the hands of a servant of the Lord. It's safe with me. Once its owner turns up, I'll gladly give it back to him.
Or lose it in a game of dice? I wouldn't say it's very safe in your hands.
I'm a priest, not a saint. So what of it?
Let's play for it, then.
Certainly, why not? As long as you put up a decent wager against it.
Maybe we better leave it for now. I don't have very much coin at the moment.
As you wish, friend. But if you should change your mind, I'll be glad to play.
Do you know how I can get up to the chapel?
You can't. Only his lordship, usually, that is. Only now, Captain Thomas is lying there. He's at death's door. God save him.
I understand. What's the matter, good wife? Why are you standing here grumbling?
Because of that damn blacksmith. I'm waiting here for him like for Judgment Day. The lock on my spice chest is stuck, and Sir Otto will be back any time. How am I to bake gingerbread without ginger, eh?
How can the blacksmith help you?
How do you think? He always takes this bit of wire and opens the chest for me, and then he promises to change the lock for 3 years now.
But the blacksmith is just around the corner.
I know he is, only he tells me to wait, that he's got more important things to do.
Seems to me he's just talking.
I wouldn't be surprised, the lazy wretch. But what can I do? I'm just a loudmouth cook, so I have to wait.
Can I help you somehow?
No, unless you can pick a lock. And decent folk don't know how to do that.
Well, you said the blacksmith knew how to do it, though. So the blacksmith isn't a decent man?
Aye, and he ain't decent. He's a nasty piece of work.
Sure. Let's have a look at that chest and I'll get to it. As it happens, I know how to deal with locks.
It's in the castle cellars. Follow me. My time is precious, seeing as how his lordship will be back any time.
Yeah, but I'm not allowed there. I was told to stay in the courtyard.
Never mind that. You're going with me and you're helping me. Come along. What a... See you later, my friend.
The first bell. Another 11 to go.
light the fire in the main hall. It's as cold there as a dungeon. And that doesn't do me any good.
Here it is, that damn chef. 3 years I've been telling him. God.
And when that's all done, let the maids get stuck into cleaning, so you don't show me up in front of his lordship.
Thank you kindly, young man. My friend.
Let them know that they are not alone in their affliction.
Guard,
Must you interrupt me at my prayers? If it's alms you want, go to the kitchen.
sorry to bother you, but I heard you praying. I need to get to your captain.
You know Thomas? Where from?
Well, that's a really long story, but I heard what happened to him, and I need to talk to him.
Talk? What do you expect to hear from him? But it's all the same. Thomas is lying in a fever upstairs in the Maiden. It don't look good for him. Them bastards cut him up good. Poor fella. And if that wasn't enough, they stole his rosary too. Barbarians.
What exactly is wrong with Thomas?
He was badly wounded in a fight. It looked for a while like he wouldn't live to see the dawn. But he got a bit better. Only a few days ago he caught a fever and the Sawbones is away with Lord von Burgo. And that fever ain't letting up.
And the Maiden Tower, which one is that?
You in Trotsky for the first time, eh? It's that narrow, higher one on the eastern side. We call the second one the Crone. There's some legend about it, but to tell the truth, it never much interested me.
I heard that that priest of yours has the rosary.
Nicodemus?
Yeah. I heard he won it from Kabat at Dice.
That sounds like him, all right. Booze and dice. And consorting with that thief, Cabot, too.
Well, I suppose he should give it back, right?
He certainly should.
Should I deal with that?
No. I'll sort it out with him myself. But you did the right thing. Maybe that rosary turning up was a sign from above. Wouldn't you like to pray by Thomas's bedside?
Could I?
Aye, come with me. I'll take you up to the chapel. Usually it ain't open to, well, folk of your station.
I understand. I'd be glad to go and pray for Thomas.
The Sawbones was a little reluctant when I told him I wanted to carry Thomas upstairs. The wounded are supposed to lie as close to the chapel as possible. Everyone knows that. Years ago, I heard from a man that something similar happened in Strahlenberg during the Margravate Wars. The Burgrave of the castle was seriously wounded. An enemy rider stuck him with a spear like a pig on a spit and pulled him halfway through the woods. No one thought he'd live to see the morning. But the castle chaplain, Petronel by name, ordered that the Burgrave must be close to the Lord when his hour came. There's this really high tower in Strahlenberg. The locals call it the Trumpet, on account of how it seems to get wider near the top. I saw it with my own 2 eyes on the road to Krakow when I was escorting Lord von Burgo there. When they took the Burgrave up there, spear and all, on Petronel's orders, the next day they were amazed. The Burgrave made a miraculous recovery. They say an angel descended there at night and pulled the spear out of the Burgrave's wound. Ever since then, they keep the spear on display at the castle. I understand the Sawbones. He didn't want to make it tough for Thomas, because climbing up to the Maiden ain't easy. Only the fellas and me figured it was the best thing for him.
What a day.
Christ, what now?
The second toll for Hans. Pardon me for disturbing you, miss.
If you want to pray, go somewhere else. The chapel is closed. Unless you're a priest. Which I presume you're not.
No, I'm not. My name is Henry.
I'm Adela, Thomas's sister. What is it you want, Henry?
I need to talk to your brother.
No chance of that. He's been lying in a fever for 3 days. And the surgeon is away with Sir Otto. Unless he returns soon, Thomas won't be talking to anyone ever again.
Oh, Christ. But this is a matter of life and death. Thomas is the only one who can testify to what happened.
Yes, it's a matter of life and death for my brother. I want him to rest. Besides which, he's delirious and can't tell you anything.
What actually happened to him?
They were attacked by bandits by the pond. His mare, Arrow, brought him home. He was completely out of it. And little wonder, the way he was hacked up. If the surgeon was here, he'd be in his care. Some of his wounds have healed, but now he has a fever. He's been bedridden for 3 days.
I'm sorry. Maybe I could help somehow?
The only one who can help now is the priest. And I don't want to sound gloomy, but all he can do is pray too. Just the same as me.
Where's the physician?
He's with Lord von Berghoff. When Thomas started to get feverish, he left some concoction for him. He was only meant to be gone for a while. But it seems they got stuck somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, the concoction ran out, and we don't have any other physician here.
I'm not a physician, but I could try and brew that concoction. It can't hurt to try. Do you know what it was brewed from?
If I knew that, I'd have brewed it myself. Not even our surgeon knows. He does everything according to his books. He uses some medical manuscript, whether he's treating people or livestock.
And where is this book?
How should I know? Probably in his chambers, in the Crone.
I'll have a look there then.
But no one is allowed there.
I'll figure it out somehow.
Why do you want to help us?
As I said, I need to talk to Thomas.
That's all.
You've no idea how much. If he ended up in hell, I'd have to go there after him. I made a promise.
To who?
Well, to a certain poacher.
What?
Never mind. The main thing is, I'll help you.
Yes, you're right.
I'll get going then. I don't have much time, and neither does Thomas.
Go. And thank you.
Everyone to me.
I'm sorry.
You there.
I'm sorry.
Christ!
Sir, I want to ask you something.
You? What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be helping outside in the courtyard? Christ! Ah! First you cause mayhem at a noble wedding, and now you go snooping around where you shouldn't.
I noticed, sir, that something is troubling you. I could help you.
How could a vagabond like you help me?
One vagabond isn't the same as another, sir. It can be hard to tell the difference between beggars and us students from Prague, but we have a bit of knowledge.
And what are you doing here? Prague is a long way off.
I'm here to gain experience. Our professors encouraged us to travel the world, but I ran out of coin and things went from bad to worse.
Mm-hmm. And where did you study?
Prague University, of course. So far, I've completed the Septem Artes Liberalis, and I'm getting ready for the Quadrivium.
Oh. Well, my nephew had some difficulties with arithmetic in the Quadrivium.
Oh, I understand. It's a difficult subject, and I'm a bit anxious about it myself. Nevertheless, although I don't have a degree in medicine, I have learned a few things.
Well, you really surprise me, lad.
Anyway, I'll examine you and try to make a diagnosis.
Yes, that should help.
Did you get advice from anyone about it? Have you tried anything for the pain?
Well, I talked to our surgeon. He just said it was odd and told me nothing more. So I went to Kolin to see Professor Joachim Bavorsky, and he advised me.
Yes? What?
It's a little awkward for me to talk about, I must admit.
Master Chamberlain, I'm here as a practitioner of the medical arts. You can rest assured that whatever you tell me will remain between us.
All right. The professor spoke at length about Jupiter and the houses, and then he told me that my bodily humours are out of balance.
I would expect so. And what did he recommend?
Well, that I should get more silver into my body. So I wear more silver jewellery, and when there's a full moon, I go to the meadow here below the castle, naked.
Really? So you're taking it quite seriously. And has it worked?
No, but there'll be a full moon soon, so I could damn well use some other advice.
I understand. With your permission, I'll examine you, sir.
What? Here and now?
Don't worry, I'll just have a look at you. You don't have to lie down or strip.
I'm glad to hear it.
You're quite pale and rather sweaty.
When it comes upon me, I sweat a lot.
Your eyes are all right. Do you have ringing in your ears?
No.
Do your hands shake?
Well, I'm not the youngest, but it's nothing too bad.
All right. Tell me, sir, what about your, let's say, nighttime activities?
Well, I'm not married, if you're asking about that.
But that's no obstacle, is it? Although the Holy Scriptures call on us to be chaste, even a saint can sometimes sin.
Not I. I never managed to find the right woman who would, how shall I put it, who would be a good counterpart for me and yet not provoke outrage.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Actually, neither am I.
Tell me, Master Chamberlain, does it hurt all the time, or does it come in waves?
No, not all the time. More like I get attacks.
Uh-huh. And these attacks, have you noticed whether something sets them off?
Well, it's worse when I get upset.
And does it get worse in autumn, when it gets colder?
Yes, it's usually worst in October. Then I don't even have to get upset for it to start.
All right, that makes sense. I believe your stomach juices are out of balance, sir.
That's what the professor from Kolin said. But what to do about it?
Unfortunately, I can't change the causes of your condition, but I can help you with its symptoms. I think some herbal potion for the stomach would bring you relief.
Can't you get me that potion right now?
I don't have the required remedy, but I could brew it. Only I don't have the apparatus for that. And also, I could use some medical literature.
Don't worry about that. Our surgeon is also often at a loss. I expect you'll find everything you need in his study. It's upstairs in the Crone. That's the second tower. Now we're under the Maiden. Do you know how to get there?
I think so. But I was told to stay only in the outer courtyard. I wouldn't want to get in trouble.
Trouble? I'm the one who has trouble. Don't worry. Tell them I sent you. Just go, for heaven's sake.
All right. Besides, Kerry,
What?
I think I'm great, and you have a very...
Father...
I'll go and get...
Good.
If anything goes missing there, I'll be after. If it's scrub you're after, you'll have to wait. I've been in.
You?
Who are you, actually?
Me? I'm just cleaning here.
And what were you doing at the pond, then?
I thought we straightened that out the last time you bothered me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
What's your name?
What's it to you?
I'm Henry.
Well, that's nice for you.
And you are?
I already told you. I'm a maid here.
We both know you're lying. The question is, why?
Says someone who was just sitting in a jail cell and will end up right back there if anyone calls the guards on him.
They let me out. I have to work off my sentence.
Really? Here? And what kind of important work would that be?
The Chamberlain sent me. He needs something for his stomach.
That slimy toad? If he doesn't watch out, his stomach will be the least of his worries.
Well, you look like you know your way around here. Maybe you can help me.
Why should I?
Because I could make plenty of trouble for you with the Chamberlain.
Uh-huh. And what would you tell him? That old deviant couldn't care less about anyone searching the surgeon's chambers. I wouldn't be the first or the last.
But he'd sure as hell care about how you talk about him. Deviant isn't a name that some lowly maid should be calling Lord von Burgov's right-hand man.
All right, all right. I get it.
Tell me what I need to know, and no one has to hear about it.
All right. If it's medicine you're after, the surgeon has a store across the corridor. There's all sorts of junk there, but there's one chest where he puts stuff that he hasn't used up. He locks it carefully, but you might get lucky.
And what if there's nothing interesting for me in there?
Then tough luck. But you can go and have a look at his records. That crackpot writes down everything he does. Maybe he gave someone something that might be of interest to you.
All right. Thanks.
And now get out of my way. Simple maid like me has lots of work to do in this castle. All right.
The third toll. I better get moving. Those nettles shouldn't have been boiled on such a high flame. The fourth bell. I must have taken it off the fire too early.
supposed to be helping out?
Did you hear about what the bailiff did?
I don't want some good for nothing house. I need someone who's...
Quick, quick! Sir Otto will be back in...
Sir, about...
Yes?
I've got something.
About time. This? It looks suspicious. Are you sure it'll help?
Definitely. It will balance your humours, sir. Drink it for a month at least, in small doses, morning and evening.
All right. Thanks, then.
And now you ought to go and lie down, sir.
Lie down? Me? Ha! Without me, this place would grind to a standstill.
Sir, medicine isn't enough. You also need rest. Otherwise my potion won't have much effect.
Oh, all right then. I'll try it.
And another thing. I don't want to bother you, sir, but I have a question.
Yes? What is it?
Couldn't I go and pray in your chapel?
Ah, that again. Good heavens. Go where you want, boy. I'll inform the guards.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sorry.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
It will have to be diluted. His fever is getting worse. If this doesn't work, I don't think he'll last long.
You all to be vigilant. These days we have all sorts of vagabonds, drifters, outlaws and bandits roaming the country. And we have one of those vermin here today. A fella called Hans, who is clearly not right in the head. A dangerous madman, a brawler, and a thug, the worst of all, a poacher. And so, for the damages he caused to our dear Lord Otto von Berghoff, he is sentenced to be hanged by the neck until dead!
Stop! You can't execute this man. He's a noble. Captain Thomas here will testify that we're messengers from Ratoi.
What is this nonsense, for Christ's sake?
It's true. I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein.
Deal with it, for God's sake!
But sir, the captain!
Captain Thomas has a fever. He's clearly delirious. Seize them immediately.
You can't do this. I am a nobleman, do you hear? A noble!
Get your hands off me! You can't do this!
Open the gates!
My lord.
What the hell is going on?
It was just a... It's a hanging.
You can't hang him. He's a noble. That's for me to judge. Take him down! And for Christ's sake, help me off this horse!
You may enter. His lordship is expecting you.
So, you're messengers from Ratai, huh? I was wondering when someone would turn up. All right, then. Let's hear it.
My respects, Sir Otto. I am Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein, and this is Henry of Skalitz, my escort.